forward to?
Nice conversation.
Well, besides this, in terms of the next beat, the Segal Connect event, is there anything you're actually looking forward to? People you're looking forward to meet?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to get an award.
Oh, really? Oh, yes, I heard
Yeah,
about this. Congratulations!
yeah,
I'm so jealous right now.
you shouldn't be. Some 3 or so years ago in Kigali, I sat and watched people get an award, and I imagine myself in that position. And yeah, so today, or when I get the award, it's just going to be full circle.
Ah, fine. So
Yeah.
you worked yourself up to an award after seeing other people get it.
Somewhat, but I always just set out to do the work that I do, even when I don't get the applauses. Somehow, I still put in a lot of work, provided it gives me satisfaction, inner satisfaction.
Inner satisfaction.
And I see the impact of my work radiate in the community that I serve.
I love the language you're using. So radiate within. I love this language.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear
because
more
you
about that.
need an anchoring, because the kind of work that we do can be really disappointing sometimes, can be frustrating. And these days with like donor rejections and funding just disappearing, you need like something that anchors you, something that gives you the reason to do the work that you do. And sometimes, or many times, it's within.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always about finding that inner drive, right? I remember there was something I saw, and we will come to having a conversation about your work, which you've mentioned,
Yeah.
because I think some of the stuff that you do is really interesting. But listening to now about tapping into that inner strength, it reminds me of something I read. I think it was on LinkedIn. Someone was talking about how when the whole thing happened with USAID pulling out, someone said actually big organizations were disappearing, and this small organization that had been there all along said, we're not doing this because there's funding. We're doing this because we have to.
Exactly.
And that really was like, yes, I get that. It's not, we're not doing this because there's money. We're doing this because it has to be done.
Yeah.
And I want to sort of segue into what you do, because one of the things I think I find really interesting about the work that you do, and I have to state my bias here, because I'm a futurist. I write speculative fiction. So when I was reading up about you, one of the things I noticed that kept coming up was stuff like vibranium, Wakanda, Black Panther. So things that are very central to African speculative fiction and African sci-fi. So I was really interested to have this conversation, because maybe I'm sitting, I don't know, am I sitting across from T'Challa by any chance?
T'Challa was quite a fascinating, a very fascinating character.
Yeah.
I want to see myself as T'Chaka.
Ooh, okay.
T'Chaka is T'Challa's father. He's the one who lays the foundation for Wakanda. And T'Challa then comes to bring that dream into fruition. And utilizing vibranium not only to make sure that there is progress within Wakanda, but use vibranium to make the whole world better.
Okay, so T'Chaka.
Yeah, so I hope that the generation that comes after me will be the next T'Challas.
What foundation are you, T'Chaka, setting up in Uganda? I know there's Okere City that you're setting up and some of the work around that. Could you sort of set the foundation for people who maybe haven't actually gotten to know your work? What foundation to this Wakanda are you creating in Uganda?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I call myself a rural futurist. And a rural futurist...
Stop. I've never heard that. That's dope. I've never heard that. No, seriously. I'm actually very serious. I call myself a futurist, but it's neither urban nor rural.
Yeah.
But you actually say I'm a rural futurist. That's like,
yes.
I've never heard that before. That's dope. Sorry. I need to introduce you to her.
Yes.
This is Shigo. And whenever I tap on that, it means you said something I really like. So that I really like. So you're a rural futurist. What is that?
rural futurism is this idea that the village or the countryside can no longer be thought about as places where we go to bury dead people, or just where we go and plant maize
Yeah.
or cassava,
Yeah.
or where when we are happy and excited we go for a Christmas holiday,
Yeah.
or
And hope to
for
find chicken to take back
yes, it dismisses that lazy thinking about the countryside or the village. Rather, it imagines the village or the countryside as the next frontier of innovation, as a place where dreams and ambitions could be met, as a place where somebody could actually live a much better life, get fulfilled, get a decent job, and only go to the city as a choice, like if they want to.
Yeah.
Because right now, because most of Africa's rural areas are littered with several kinds of problems. For your information, in the last 50 years, 60% of the African population have left the villages. They have
gone
come
to
to
the-
Nairobi.
Yeah.
They have come to Kampala.
Yeah.
They've
Oh, yeah, I
gone to-
told you that.
Yeah.
I told you that we have Kampala in Malawi.
Yeah, because there are basically very few things that an educated person
Yeah.
could do in the village.
And how are you changing that though? Because I think this has actually been a narrative for quite some time. This kind of urbanization shift, right, where everyone wants to move to the city. We're in Nairobi right now, and this is something that even they experience in Nairobi, and Kampala, Kigali, and all of these cities. How is the work that you're doing trying to reverse that trend to create this rural future that you're describing?
Yeah, so then rural futurism is just about creating the opportunities that ought to be there in the village, so that you give the youth in the village, you give the grandmothers in the village, you give the fathers in the village, the children in the village, the opportunities and the things that will make them stay, so that they don't want to run away from the village. So basically, so our work at Okere Community Development Project, which we also called Okere City, is basically doing just that.
Okay.
So we run a community school that has 700 children. We have a clinic in the hospital in the village that every day gives medical access to about 50 people.
Okay, that's a school of 700 children.
Yeah.
A clinic.
Providing Medicare to 30 people every day.
How many people in the city?
There are about 6,000 people.
6,000
in the village.
Oh, but you called it a city, so I'm calling it. To me, it's already a city. It seems like you've created that
so the
impression.
reason we call the project a city is really to like psychologically, what?
To sort of plant that in people's heads
Yeah,
from the
because you
beginning.
see, when people in the village think about the city, they think of it as a place with opportunities.
Yeah.
So, okay, we know there are opportunities in the city, but we could also create our city in our village, right?
Okay.
So basically, it was just to psychologically distort their mind so that they could think that in actual sense we have like a city.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would still call it a village. Somehow, it has
You have to make up your mind. It's either a village or it's a city. I actually
we actually call it a village city.
Okay, now you're copping out, man. Like, no. Call it a city. Okay, village, city. Okay, fine.
All right.
I'll let that one slide.
Yeah, and so we also, so the essence of a rural future is that you really use what we call the ABCD, which is like asset-based community development. And so you look at what do I have in this setting that we could use as a transformative tool in the village. And for us, it's the share trees.
The shared tree. Oh,
Yeah.
This is the vibranium.
So this is our vibranium.
That's your vibranium.
So the village lies within within the Sudano-Sahelian belt of Africa, where shea trees grow in their natural abundance. And of course, because people realized very little value from these trees, they decided to cut a significant chunk of them down. So one of our initial works was to like really do sensitization campaigns to tell people about the beauty of this tree, about why they shouldn't destroy it. And then we started doing massive regeneration efforts. And so for the past 5 years, we've been able to support the planting and conservation of up to around 1 million shea trees. But the beauty...
And that's 1 million trees that are there now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
These are there now.
Okay.
And
Wow.
and then so what we then thought about was, how do we make sure that our village contributes to the global shea butter story? Because the global demand for shea butter has grown by over 600% in the last 20 years.
What's driving that demand?
The return to natural, organic consumption.
Ah, okay, fine. So people wanting natural food, organic food.
Yes,
Okay.
but also because of the several benefits, health benefits that is imbued within the shea butter, as for instance, a cosmetics or a consumable product. For instance, one of the reasons why shea butter is really sought after is that it has anti-aging properties. Remember, vibranium also made people in Wakanda younger.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
I just know it was a sort of a magic rock that could do anything.
Yes. One of those was extending the longevity of the Wakandans.
So basically, shea butter can extend anti-aging.
Oh well, it will make me look younger than 43, for instance.
I was wondering, you look 25.
Thanks to shea butter.
Yeah, a plug for shea butter. Right
Yes.
there. Yeah.
But beside that, I mean, it's just a good moisturizer.
Yeah.
It's in the pharmaceuticals, it's used like, as a best product for most dermatological treatments and whatnot.
Okay.
And so it has really high demand. And so what we did as a community was to rally people around this resource, first sensitize them about its benefits.
Yeah.
So I remember one of the very first things that I did was I bought a tub of shea butter from a supermarket in Kampala. So we convened like a big community meeting. We talked about lots of things. So I asked my village folk, I'm like, how much?
City folk. Village city folk.
Yes. I asked them, how much do you think this jar of shea butter is? So many of them were like 5,000 shillings, which is about slightly above $1. Well, the person who mentioned the most amount of money was like $1.5 equivalent.
Was anyone close to the actual amount?
No. So, and on that tab, it had a tag, like one of the sticky notes with the amount of the product. And it was 35,000 shillings, which is like $10 or something like that.
What is the reaction from the community?
And people just couldn't believe it that that the trees that they have is the source of a product worth this amount of money.
Yeah.
But then I told them that, you see this product, which is like $10 in Kampala, it could quite easily be $30 or even $50 in London or in New York. And so that is how we start shifting the mindset. And forward to 2025, we built a gigantic shea butter factory in the village. And the next year, we emerge as probably one of the leading exporters of shea butter. And
in Uganda or in Africa?
No, in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
In Uganda.
Whoa.
And since then, it has really emerged as a very important revenue stream for our organization. And true to that...
in terms of revenue stream, just to understand, how much, like on an annual basis, does this factory since 2025, how much have you realized in revenue on an annual basis? What's your turnaround, roughly? For some of us who want to get into the business. Yeah.
Yeah, so last year we exported shea butter worth over 100,000 US dollars.
100,000
Yeah, we
US
are looking
dollars.
at 250,000 US dollars in 2026.
And how many people have part of the factory? Is it a private company? How have you
It's
set
a
it up?
cooperative, and
It's a
we have
cooperative.
about 500 people, mostly 85% of them women who are part of the cooperative. But we source the shea nuts from about 2,000 shea farmers existing within the shea belt of Northern Uganda. Yes. And this is just transformative in very many ways because we are able to use the profit that we get from this resource that we have to invest in the school, to invest in the clinic.
Actually, I wanted to sort of understand that a bit more because yes, we use the word transformative a lot, and from what I hear, the kind of value you've extracted from the shea butter has managed to unlock other opportunities in the village. What are some of those other opportunities? Just so that we get a sense of what that is.
Yeah, so directly we give employment opportunities to up to about 85 youth in the village. So, but indirectly, like creating, like there are people who collect the shea nuts, buy it, and then sell it, or suppliers. Indirectly, the business, our shea butter operations, has given up to around 1,000 people like indirect employment.
So this is 1,000 out of the 6,000 people that are in the village.
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, the factory is like the heartbeat of the village in many ways. Yes.
It's its own beat. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, the next bet is really about sustainability. How do African visionaries, how do African change makers think about creating sustainable projects using resources that they have? And the resource could be a natural resource. It could be people that you have. It could be the dreams and ambitions that you have. It could be anything. So how can we use that an asset to create the catalytic change that our societies so much deserve?
No, great. Thank you for that overview. I mean, one of the, again, going back to the rural future, and what it is you've created, you've got this factory, and I know you've got some other things which we can sort of expand on. The thing that really fascinates me, and it's really a question, and speaking as an African, is that there's this perception, and it's a perception that you brought up a little earlier about that the village is where we bury the dead. And this is also common in Malawi as well, where I'm from, and in many parts of Africa as well, where you only go to the village when there's a funeral. So it's seen as a dead place. And it seems like one of the things that you're doing, which I really find inspiring, is that you're trying to create a living place, a place where people can actually live. It's not just a place for death. Again, you're trying to create this rural future.
Yeah.
One of the things that is there, that a perception about Africa, is that Africa is always in the future. It's the Africa we want is somewhere in the future. And as a futurist, I think I'm guilty of that because some of the stuff I've written, for example, imagines an Africa that is yet to come. Do you think that we're actually living in the future right now through the work that you're doing, and that it's just something we don't really take seriously?
Yes. I mean, I consider myself as working towards the future because we have not even done 1% of the work that we ought to do. So in my mind, the future really is going to come when we've set a definite foundation for ultimate progress. And so because we are foundation laying, we still have a lot of work to do to create that future. And if we had arrived at the future, maybe I would have very little incentives to do the work that I do. And so in many ways for me, the work is how do I set that foundation for ultimate progress? And that is why I told you initially that I rather consider myself as Tichaka.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who lays the foundation for a progressive future.
Yeah. Do you not think that you've created progress now?
Well, I've created progress now, but the majority of the people in the village still live in absolute poverty.
You've created a future for about 1,000 people in your community,
That's
though.
so few. I mean,
yeah.
in Northern Uganda, where I come from, about 2.5 million people out of 7 million people live on less than $1 a day. How do I call that a progressive future? I would be so ashamed of myself to do that.
Okay. So
Yeah. So
that's what drives you.
yeah, in the village, even when 700 children come to the school, 75% of the children who should actually be going to school are not going to school. How do I call that the future I want for Africa? No, we deserve better than that.
So according to you, we are still waiting for a future. We're not.
We are building the future. We are not waiting. We are building that future.
We're not. Okay. So we're not there yet in certain ways. We're
Yes.
still yet to build that future.
Exactly.
I thought you had built it already.
We keep building. Progress is building.
Progress is building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that. I think a lot of the work that you're doing, particularly with the city, the village city, as you call it, there's this factory that you've built. Great success, by the way.
Thank you.
And I know there are other things you've built around that. I hear that you have a community bank that's in place, and I think you mentioned the school, health centers. So very clearly, you've created an ecosystem around your vibranium.
Yes, and so the approach that we really use to rally around our work is one, the rural futurism, then two, the ABCD, the asset-based community development, and then integrated rural development, which, by the way, is like this ancient or traditional World Bank development approach that they tried in the 1960s, 70s in Southern America.
Which had varied success in some places. Well, some places it worked, and some places there was still.
But basically, it never worked.
It never worked.
It never worked, and the World Bank writes about it in their reports as a cautionary tale of what ought not to be done. Because then, so what the World Bank did is they went to villages like in Argentina, like in Paraguay, and they worked with the local communities, mostly the local elites, right? And they built irrigation projects, they built schools and whatnot. And this, in the very beginning, these projects become really successful. And so what happens is that once people, like children go to school, like primary school, they go away. To the city for high school, and
so all that resource is moving away.
And so after like 10, 20, 30 years, these projects became shells of themselves. Right? Everybody left, including the very founders or champions of these projects. Many of them became politicians. Many of them became very popular and went away to the cities and basically left these projects to die. But it worked. Only that people left. And why did people leave? Because they only thought about material well-being at that time. They only thought about children going to school. They didn't think about building factories or industries. They only thought about improving agricultural productivity, not knowing that, hey, young people have dreams and ambitions. They don't want to go to the garden all the time. Right?
And that's a common problem, isn't it, across the continent? Young people don't want to get into farming.
But it's not, and it's okay for somebody not to be interested to be a farmer. It's okay.
That's fine. But it's still, but there are opportunities in farming.
So create it. So like we did, right? Shea butter is ultimately still an agricultural produce. But you see, we create several activities or opportunities along the chain that even a fancy Gen Z girl in the village would still want to be part of our social media campaign, right? Doing share butter, cosmetics. It's still part of the chain. What the project, the World Bank did and whatnot was that they only say, okay, village people, go and farm cassava or whatever they did, and let's take everything to the market. They didn't think about value addition and making sure that, we supply our shea butter directly to a cosmetics company in the US. We don't have middlemen, who extract most of the profits. So we are actually able to source the raw materials, do the production, do the packaging, and get a whole 40-foot container truck in the center of the village and do our celebrations and incantations as we bless the truck to come to Mombasa, then ultimately to the US. That's almost unthinkable. How many farmers? But okay, thanks to my visionary leadership, because I am able to find the customers wherever they could be. I have networks, I have resources, and that is basically the very moral foundation of the work that I do. So I am highly trained. I went to some of the most prestigious universities in the world. I went to the London School of Economics to study international development. But then, and I went to Cornell University as well. But when I come to my village, I'm basically struggling to get like a cold bottle of beer. Or to get like a painkiller if I have a headache. And I'm like, okay, this is unfair. So how can I, have the money that I have? How can I have the networks and connections that I have? How can I have the skills and the knowledge that I have? And I'm not using my knowledge, skills, networks for the betterment of my brothers and my cousins and my sisters. That would be the greatest disservice to mankind.
And what you've just described about your educational background and all the education that you got, London School of Economics, and you went to Cornell, very prestigious institutions with all this elite knowledge. Was there some unlearning you had to do when coming into the village economy to sort of say, okay, this is the theory on paper, and now that I'm on the ground, I can't get a cold beer. I can't get, a painkiller if I have a headache. Was there some unlearning you needed to do to sort of say, that doesn't work? I have to rethink how economics work for the village.
Thanks to the education that I got, I understood the fundamentals, like the basics of basic economics. You need a natural resource, and you turn it into a finished product. That's basic economics. Basic economics also teaches me that if you really need to create massive opportunities, you need to industrialize. There's no way around that. It's really basic economics.
And this is what the World Bank got wrong in South America, right?
Exactly. And so for me, though, when I came to the village, I still had to learn very many things. One, being humble and humility. So ultimately, I become a student. On how, in terms of humility, what was it about that made that a lesson for you to learn, and how did that change how you work? So because if I went to the village and stood on top of the anthill and told everybody how I went to prestigious universities and how I am well connected to
I am Dr. So-and-so.
And then people would either fear me or people would think that I am being arrogant and proud. Right?
It's like a power dynamic, isn't it? It's like you coming in with your education and your knowledge creates that either people fear you or...
And remember, this is what educated people do. When they go to the village.
They put themselves on a pedestal. That I have the knowledge.
They go with the money. They buy local beers for everybody. Like they are basically local celebrities in the village. So how do I have to be different? So what do I do when I'm in the village? I never wear shoes. I wear tire shoes.
Okay.
I wear only shorts and vests, and perhaps I had to even learn how to have some dreadlocks in my hair, so that I'm like a typical village boy.
Do some people think that's performative in a way, like you're like putting on an act just to assimilate?
But I've done it for so long that that they think it's normal.
It's normal.
And I believe it's normal as well. It's not performative anymore because it's like my lifestyle. I live my life so simply that when like somebody comes, like a visitor or a potential investor, and either I've received them and they ask, I want to talk to the director.
Yeah.
Or
there you are in your slippers.
Okay, but you see, it's not performative. It's very intentional.
Yeah.
Because I want to be part and parcel of the village. I don't want to be any
Separate
different. I don't want to wear designer shoes and clothes, even if I could afford them properly. And so, but also most importantly, listening.
Yeah.
I will seldom talk when we have these community gatherings. I will identify key human assets in the village. I will train them. And then when we have like those festivals, we organize like every Saturday is like a community day where people just come to sing, dance, and drink local beer. I mean, I even had to learn how to drink local beer.
What do you mean learn how to drink local beer? You just drink beer.
No, so there's this locally brewed, like traditionally brewed beer, right?
Yeah.
And of course, like going to school, we always thought it was for the lowly class.
Yeah. So you had to
and remember this, there is a big pot and there are 20 people around it, and everybody has their straws, they're sipping from the pot. And you know, like little children, and I didn't grow up in the village, right? I grew up in the next town, and to me this was barbaric as a child.
Yes.
Okay. But then coming back to the village, I'm like, I have to get my acts together.
Yeah.
So
Was that easy for you though, to make that transition to becoming more like the people that you were serving?
Because it was very deliberate and intentional, and because I saw value in that, it was very easy. And because of the substance of what happens, forget about the beer.
Yeah.
Well, I still think it's nice. I love it, the traditional beer.
Yeah.
But conversation, like the conversation that happens, it's so organic, it's so real, that it's basically, and it's men. So the men are speaking their hearts out. Like they're teaching me what manhood is to them in the village, right? And I'm seeing the merits and the demerits, and I'm basically understanding. And then sometimes I'm using this platform as like a philosophical discourse ground where we have very critical conversations, for instance, about what responsible manhood is and what our responsibilities as men in the village should be. Now, this you could never have in a workshop setting, you know, in a conference hall, in a hotel.
With
no,
we
can only have it around the beer pot.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when we have these community engagements, I am basically sitting back, listening and learning. And when asked, I will respond, but I will also be very emphatic to say that I am not the king of truth.
Or even though you're T'Challa laying the foundation.
And of righteousness. You know, it is our collective responsibility as a society to define what is right, what is good for us. I'm only providing the vision, right, and the leadership, but it is our responsibility to move to that direction. Now, that is not what my education teaches me. My education teaches me that, I have to project authority, I have to project knowledge.
It's interesting because it's almost the opposite, right? Because your education teaches you, or teaches us, because I also went to a college, teaches us that we must project authority through our competency.
Yes.
While in the village, it's kind of the opposite. If you project competency, you gain respect.
Yes.
But in the village, if you project humility,
Yes.
you gain respect. It's almost a flip of that. And now it's actually very interesting. It's one of the things that personally I struggle with when I go to the village. I hate having to arrive in a 4x4, and then people have been waiting for me for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I just feel it's such a disrespect because I'm not more knowledgeable than they are. There's a lot that they know that I can actually
especially about their realities, and so that is what makes me humble. I don't know a lot of things. Like literally every day, some old woman, some grandmother is teaching me something I didn't know. Almost every day. It's like the rule of the thumb that I am going to learn something.
Maybe if I could ask you, I want to just do. There was another question I wanted to ask you, but I wanted to ask this. In your interactions with the people, usually in Africa we're very big on proverbs.
Yes, yeah.
So in the work that you've been doing with the community, are there any proverbs that you've picked up along the way that are influencing your work?
Oh yeah. And good that you bring that, because just last weekend we had like a grandmother's celebration, and one of the discussions we were having was like some of the proverbs and the local wisdom that we have in the village, especially around generosity and giving thanks and whatnot. And one of the many that I really love is awara wara go chumal, awara wara go chumal. And it means everywhere I go I plant nails. Okay.
And what is the vernacular? How did you say it?
Awara wara go chumal, awara wara go chumal.
I was hoping to attempt to try it, but I'll bite my tongue.
Yes.
Yes. So it means everywhere I go, I plant
nails. I plant grass. I plant. So basically, it's saying that everywhere that you go, in everything that you do, you have to do something impactful, something that transforms the life of the people in the community. And so it is a local wisdom like this. And another one is adide o meo mendiango tushubul, which basically means that if you stay persistent at doing something over a long period of time, you will definitely emerge triumphal.
Yeah.
Right?
So persistence. Keeping at it. And this is really what we do. We keep at it, the work that we do. And from the very, very beginning, we knew that we didn't have to build a donor-reliant entity. We had to build a school. And in this school, the locals bring food that the children can eat. And they bring tuition fees in terms of share nuts, for instance. Oh, so they bring in kind?
They bring in kind.
Okay.
And so with or without external funding, our school will always be there. Okay? The funding, of course, will maybe enable us build more classrooms. But otherwise, the school will still be there even if we didn't have money. So it is really small things and local wisdom like this in the village that gives meaning to
and I think this is the thing that, I find that large multilateral agencies who are well-meaning, often I find that we often this local wisdom, this sort of local way of doing things or understanding things, it doesn't filter into log frames and proposals. It's not something that you can manufacture, right? Yeah. It's something that has to be lived, especially with the people in the village city that you're creating. I wanted to. Firstly, I think this is all fascinating, especially what you're trying to do and trying to build. Of course, I was actually hoping we would have some piece of the future now, a little piece of Wakanda now. But like you said, it's something that you're building towards, and I respect that is your ambition. I wanted to. There was something you said about keeping at it. I think the second proverb, sorry, I can't do it. But that proverb, it speaks really to keeping at doing something, and if you keep doing it, you will achieve it eventually.
Yeah.
So in the work that you've done, you've obviously been trying. You've been keeping at it. I think you said you've been working at this for 10 years.
7 years. 2019.
2019. So 7 years.
Yeah.
And I know that there must have been a cost to the work that you're doing. In terms of, yes, you said that there's a lot that comes from within to sort of do the work that you're doing. But have you lost anything along the way in pursuit of this rural future that you're seeking?
Oh.
What has been the cost to you?
Oh, I don't know if I should call it a cost, but I have made lots of personal sacrifices along the way.
Yeah.
For instance, I was living my middle class dream in Kampala. I was a public servant. I was a deputy secretary of a public university.
Okay.
I had a vehicle, a public vehicle. I had a house on campus. I was earning a very decent salary compared to my contemporaries. But I also had assets, private assets. And so I just decided to quit the job, to sell off in Kampala.
What was that trigger? What was the thing that made you decide to sell off your assets?
Because I knew that the project I was going to start in the village could not be very successful if I was dividing my knowledge, time, and effort. I knew that if this idea that was consuming me so much was to be successful, I had to go full in. And it made me to be a dictator also in many ways. For instance, I just told my wife that pack up and we go to the village.
I'm sure she was very happy about that. I'm just like, we're leaving the house, the car, the pet dog, or whatever it is.
And where were we going to? To the bush. We didn't even have, we had a hut.
Yeah.
Like a grass thatch hut.
Seriously?
Oh, yes.
What? Oh, no, I need to be educated. What did you tell your wife to go visit? No, seriously, what did you tell your wife?
So I told her that you know my capabilities.
Yeah.
And my level of commitment.
Yeah.
You know that very well.
Yeah.
And I told her and you know where we are going to. It's a bush with nothing, with probably guinea fowls and snakes and pythons.
Yeah, you really sold it to her very well, very clearly.
I told her, please, let's go. Just give me some time and we work this out.
Yeah.
I told her I don't know how much time this would take, but we will surely lay a better foundation for our children. Because this city, it chokes me. In Kampala, I used to ride a motorbike. I'm a biker.
Oh, okay.
And you know the chaos of borders
Yes,
in Kampala.
I know.
So,
they don't recognize traffic lights.
But somehow, because she really knows me, she was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But of course, you could also see that.
Oh, is she a working woman as well, or she's a housewife? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, she was working. She's
was
an
working.
accountant. But in the village, of course, we are all jobless. But somehow I still continue working, right? As
Yeah.
she's in the village, because
Yeah.
we need an income.
Of course.
We need like a financial basis.
Okay.
Also, as we figure out how to sell off our assets in Kampala to raise capital for building this stupid dream in the village. and then
I'm sure your peers must have thought you were crazy.
and that is the second one.
Yeah.
The second cost is that I almost lost all my friends because everybody thought I had gone berserk. My boss, when I submitted my resignation letter, he said, I'm not going to get it. I will not accept it. Take your time
To think about it.
to think about it, but I will not accept that shitty piece of paper.
Did you actually tell him that you were resigning to go and live?
Yes.
So you told him?
Yes, but he refused. So what did I do? I just put it on his desk and disappeared.
Okay. Maybe he still thinks you're employed with him, but
Well, they took 6 months before they could get somebody
to replace.
to and this is a public service.
Yeah.
And they could still afford to wait for 6 months. Well, but I'm good at my job, of course, because I put in a lot of time and effort.
Sorry, can I just do this? The thing I love about you so far, you're unapologetic about your success. Don't ever lose that.
Thank you.
I'm speaking as a Malawian where we're very modest.
Uh-huh.
We don't, succeed quietly kind of thing. I like that you are very loud about your success, and I really love that.
I hope I'm not
recognize
too
that.
loud.
You're very loud, but this is a safe space. This is where we're having conversation, so it's perfectly fine with me. But I wanted to recognize that you know that you're good at your job, and you don't apologize for that. So don't ever lose that.
because I know the level of effort and intellectual work that I put in, and so that gives me pride, obviously. And so my friends just could not see the world the way I saw it, and especially people who really understood or know my potential.
Yeah.
To many of them, I was going to kill my dreams and ambitions.
You're going to the village where people go to die.
Yes, I'm probably going to die. Like,
Yes.
in that sense.
I get it.
So, of course, what then keeps me awake is also disapproving people who thought I was crazy. Many of them now think I was not crazy.
Okay.
Because it was just like 1 year later when the story of our work was featured on CNN. Literally 1 year after I
You resigned. Yeah.
And then we were on The Guardian. And then people started like coming. My friends started bringing their families to the to the village, and of course, grass tight and local materials used, bamboo and whatnot.
Yeah.
There was a sense of belonging. There was a sense of progress, a sense of home. It seemed even 5 years ago that a foundation was being laid, and right now, when one comes to the village city, like if somebody had come like 2 years ago, they can't even believe and recognize the amount of progress that has happened. And this is really so telling of if you invest your time, your network, your skills and knowledge into something you really believe in, I believe that it most oftentimes will work out. And so this is what I do. I am thinking we have very creative projects coming up. One of the projects that we are building is Okere World Work Center. So we are building a BPO, like a business processing center, where we are training young people in the village to be able to work for Amazon, Dell, and work for global corporations around the world.
I can see this future taking shape.
When they're seated right in under the share trees in the village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So it seems you have a plan for the future in terms of what you need to do.
Oh yeah.
What are some of maybe 2 or 3 key things that you're looking forward in this rural future that you are yet to create?
Oh yeah. So in that rural future, we will be a key participant in the global economy, right? And so we will be the largest supplier of Nilotica shea butter in the world.
Oh,
So there
wow.
are two
Okay.
types of shea butters for
Okay.
your information.
Okay.
There is the Nilotica, which is East Africa, Uganda, South Sudan, parts of Ethiopia, Chad, and Central African Republic. And then there is the Paradoxa, which is the West African shea butter, which is the most popular type of shea butter, commands 99% of the global shea butter trade.
Yeah.
But for our Nilotica, in the next 5 years, we will definitely be the biggest supplier. So I see L'Oreal, Lush, Body Shop, all global cosmetics companies
Wow.
will come knocking because also of the quality of the product.
I can't
that
wait
we
for
have.
that future.
But also I see young people in the village working for some of the biggest corporations in the world while seated in the village. That is the future that I see. But I also see our village really become a top center for organic agricultural production. So producing food with organic manure, making our land fertile, with the natural ingredients that we have, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so a food secured village, even though we are located on a semi-arid belt of Uganda. And children in the village having the best quality education they could afford
Through the school
through
that you're
the
providing.
school that we provide. So this is the kind of picture that we envision for our village.
I have one last question to ask you. I know as part of your story, I know that there's some legacy with what happened to your father, because I did read up on it, and how that, I think, affected you in many ways. What do you think your father would say right now if he saw what you were doing in the village?
Oh, thanks. Thanks you asked that, because last year we went and excavated the bones of my father from where he was buried and brought those bones back home. I thought it was so stupid to do.
Why?
Yeah, but my brother, my elder brother. So when my father died, I was like 6 months old, 1986.
Yeah.
He died in 1987, January. I was born in 1986, June. Of course, because of the tumultuous politics of Uganda, he was just a victim. And so when they brought his dead body home, there were Karimojong raiders, cattle raiders. So they had beasts at home. So everybody was there at home. So he was buried a few kilometers from the village. But my brother, who stayed in the village, didn't have the privilege of education like I did. He always said that he was never at rest because his father's remains were not home. And so it put me under a lot of pressure. And remember, I don't know this guy who died. I was 6 months old, right? I don't know him. Of course, I hear stories about him. And then we brought the remains, and my brother was so excited. Like I'd never seen him that happy. Never. So I asked him, are you happy now? He said, like, it's the best thing you've done for me, my brother. But then, after all this has happened, I started, asking myself very many fundamental questions. I'm like, okay, so what does then this mean for our ancestors, for the people who came before us?
Yeah.
I mean, my father and his brother were able several years ago to make sure that we have this estate, almost over 200 hectares of land where Okere City sits now. And many people in their contemporaries were not that visionary and futuristic enough to have assets in terms of land of this magnitude. then I'm like, okay, the work we are doing now, although I'm building a foundation,
Yeah.
the foundation was laid several years ago by our ancestors.
So even though you
So,
didn't know your father as much,
yes,
he left an inheritance for you
exactly,
to build what you're building now.
build. And so everything really is foundation after foundation after foundation, because nature and God has their ways of making sure that they give us inspiration and support, even if we cannot touch and feel it.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it
get it.
just engulfs. It's just the spirit that engulfs you and gives you more meaning to do the work that you
Yeah.
do. And so now I think that our ancestors are so proud of me.
I like that you've ended it with that, because as ancestors are important to us as Africans, as doers in the work that we do. So,
Yeah.
and it's hopefully it's something that people will take from what you've shared.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.